are you a crowd pleaser? Because I would never put 100% faith in judges. Especially nowadays when half the judges are drunk, coked up, or just not paying attention.
You just
can't
take it.
Wow.
Talk about reading.
There's going to be a process for my ball, because there will be no foolery. You can have some cocktails on the panel, but guess what? If I see you're not focused, then you need to get up. Yeah. If anybody that knows me, and Miss Tyra can tell you, I will supersede my judges. I will get up, and if I see something's not going right, there's no favoritism. Well, I'm about fairness. If I see you're not paying attention and someone is being judged unfairly, I'm going to step in. Because guess what? At the end of the day, it's my ball. It's a representation of me.
Okay.
So we're going to do this the right way.
Representation of you and your brand.
Right. You will not be said, oh, the ball was fierce. No. And I've always done this. For years, I would have children judge grand prize.
Mm-hmm. What's your opinion on, the whole, I guess you're calling up locking up the Legends panel, you do towards favoritism and stuff like that, and stuff like that in that nature of ballroom.
Unfortunately, the whole girlfriend panel thing is nothing new. It's been done in the past. However, I have to say this, that in all fairness, you'll let your girlfriend through, but in all fairness, we had judges that were fair enough to say, well, you know what, you was turning it, but you got to admit, okay, you can't be mad at me, she was turning it over you, so of course I gave it to her. You know what I'm saying? Now, okay, you ain't got to do much, and they still going to give it to you,
Wow. What about the legendary panel of using their power to sleep with the kids and basically use the children of the community to basically use them as puppets to do their makings and moves in the ballroom scene?
Misappropriation of power.
Yes.
And I think right now, and I need to say this,
because that is exactly what is happening, and not only just here in Florida, but in a lot of states across the United States.
Right.
This is a major problem.
I think one of the major problems is just ballroom's in a power struggle right now.
You're absolutely correct.
Ballroom is in a power struggle, and a lot of people never. When I first had spoken to or had messaged one of you, I don't know what I said. Maybe it's that nobody wants to hear what I have to say, because I've always been very straightforward and gave my opinion. Because guess what?
But it needs to be
if you didn't like me then, you're not going to like me now.
Okay.
Basically, it is what it is. And I'm never going to be phony, and I'm never going to be someone's girlfriend. Because, listen, I am who I am. You might want to be with me. How about that? I don't need to be with you to gain anything.
Ooh.
Okay? When I say it might sound arrogant, but listen, sometimes you need to be arrogant. And I know I work for everything I have. Okay? Not only did I do ballroom 24/7, but I've been on my own since I was 17, and so I had to work. I had to make a living. Go to school and do all this, and then be able to be who I was in ballroom,
Right. How do you feel about all the kikiing and bullying in the ballroom scene, and especially on the legendary panel?
It's nonsense. Like I said again, it's just abuse. Well, I don't know where we've gone to, and it worries me. I was talking to one of my nephews that's a Revlon, and he was telling me that he was talking to his father, and he says he's just done with ballroom. And I was like, no, give ballroom a chance. It's like there is no hope for ballroom, and that's the consensus that's going on now. People are losing hope. People are losing faith in ballroom. Ballroom is being pushed back underground, and we've made so many strides, to get where we're at. For it just to be, I just don't understand, And, this nonsense, it's a trophy. It is not gold. It will not give us any more status in life. It will not pay rent. It will not give you an education. Why are we going in balls ready to turn ballrooms out? Shooting in ballrooms, macing in ballrooms. This is nonsense. Where is it going?
Exactly.
Again, I use the word foolery. It's nonsense. It makes no sense at all.
Well, okay, you know what? Another thing I wanted to bring up was what do you feel? How do you feel about the whole Mugler ball that passed in New York City, and Kevin Ultra Omni walked, and he walked porcelain face, and he's a pioneer to the ballroom scene, and him being chopped and being embarrassed when he should be recognized for his work. How do you feel about that?
Okay, that's a little tricky. I don't believe, okay, this is my honest opinion, and everyone, if you're listening, that I love you. You are my first mother. However, I don't think it was that he should have walked that. It is, listen, I sat down for a reason. To get me on the floor, you're going to put me on the floor with my peers. You understand where I'm going with this?
Right. It was a new age ball, and
right. I'm giving cash away for iconic face, okay, and it's 40 plus, okay. Let me see the girls. Let me see Michael Dupree. Let me see Michael Princess. Let me see Kevin Omni. Let me see these girls. This is your time. You get some coins. You know what I'm saying? These girls. That was. And it's not that I have no faith in him. It's that I would have never taken that chance. But yet, I do think that the boy, I would have stopped. I would have gave full recognition. I would have said, this is the man, one of the men that paved the way for this category.
Right. Well, actually, Jack Mizrahi did do that during the ball, so shout out to Jack Mizrahi for that.
Right. But on the other side, I wouldn't have advised him to walk.
Right.
And it's no shade.
How do you feel about Kevin Ultra Omni and Wolfgang Bush and the whole GMHC boycotting thing, and how are you entwined with that?
Listen, this has been a whole feud that's been going on for a minute now. I've read facts on both sides, and I really have. It has only encouraged me to do what I'm doing more in terms of building this 501c dedicated to the community, by the community. That way, sometimes some things are out of our control. Okay, here's David fighting Goliath right now, and he's making some strides. He may even make some dent, but in the long run, the funding and the money that they have, I think there's more than one way to skin a cat, as my grandmother would say.
Word.
So I just think a different approach can be taken.
Okay.
But,
there's a rumor out there saying that it was a conspiracy. Do you feel like it was a conspiracy, or do you feel like that's just a rumor?
Yeah. What part was the conspiracy?
That it was planned to chop Kevin Ultra Omni because he had boycotted the GMHC.
No.
That was the rumor that was going around in social media.
That's nonsense. No,
okay.
I don't believe.
Another thing was, let's talk a little bit about the AIDS epidemic and GMHC.
Okay.
So, talk a little bit about, the epidemic when AIDS arrived on the scene and how everything changed.
It hit ballroom really hard, to the point where it left, I believe, so many people emotionally drained. because it just, when it hit, it hit so strong, you know. And I mean, me myself, I just wasn't ready, you know. I buried so many friends that, you know, I can't even. It's affected me to the point that even in my life today, it doesn't even have to be HIV or AIDS. If I lose someone, it just takes me to a familiar place of pain, you know. I recently, back in December, lost my brother, Ross Infinity, and
yeah, it's hard. A lot of people are still suffering and mourning the loss of father, and the father of also of my house, Father Ross Infinity. May he rest in peace. And it's very, very hard for. It's very, very devastating for everyone.
You know, it's like I couldn't, like I did all that I could do to, you know, do a memorial for him and all, but I couldn't even bring myself to go to his funeral. I got up that morning, but I just could not go because I just vowed that I could not see another of my friends die, and he did not die of the virus. And you need to say that because there's some ugly rumors going around, you know. And I just think people can be so cruel, you know. Not to tell his business, but he's been dealing with kidney issues for many years, you know, and he was a little guy. I mean, how much can one person take, you know?
Right.
And, you know, it was just so unexpected to me. And I'm sitting here, I'm crying now. I just don't want to lose any more friends. I've lost so many from one thing or another. I've had people that were killed, you know. It's just much. Nobody wants to lose anybody. But when AIDS and HIV hit ballroom, it hit with a bang, and, you know, it just devastated the community, you know. And I was talking to someone the other day that wasn't aware that I was in Paris is Burning, and we were talking, and he said, well, wow, how many people are still alive? You know, sadly enough, when you think about it, it's like I would say 85% of the people that were in the movie are no longer here, you know.
Wow.
All due to HIV and AIDS, you know. You know, I lost my mother. I lost my brother Kim, you know. I lost so many that were near and dear to me, you know. And I feel in this day and age, nobody really should be, you know, dying, you know. I mean, back then it was a death sentence, literally, you know, because the medication they were giving people was doing more harm than good. You know, I watched people, you know, literally become so toxic with that AZT, was it? You know, they were turning red and their hair was thinning, and it was just so toxic. But, you know, they're taking great strides in research and medications. You know, there's no reason why anyone should really suffer now, you know, unless they're not doing what they need to do for themselves.
Right.
You know, and again, coming off topic, which is why I stress the importance of proper and leadership. It's not just always about ballroom. It's about you have charge, or people are not taking leadership seriously enough. People want to be in these houses, and they want to be mothers and fathers. So they go, oh, I'm overall mother. Oh, I'm regional mother. Oh, I'm this. Okay, what else are you doing besides just walking around with a title?
Okay. I asked that
you bring your child
myself 100 times when I open up my Facebook and I see all these titles on kids that came out 5 and 10 years ago. And I have lots of brothers and sisters. I've been in the ballroom scene community for 25 years. And I have lots of brothers and sisters that have done major things in the ballroom scene. And I don't see the recognition anywhere. So that's one of the things that inspired me to do ballroomscenemagazine-com, which is the hottest station on the Internet Nation, by the way.
Okay.
I know how to plug that in.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your opinion on all the transgender murdering and the murdering in the LGBT community? High rates right now, scandals, rumors, chaos, shiftments, mental movements. What's your opinion on the whole thing?